Hello, people. What's up? This is Terrell here from Terrell Game Vlogs. Matt wanted me to, and I said I'd go ahead and do it for the fuck of it for everybody because this game is gonna kind of need it, considering GTA 5 is out and no one gives a fuck about anything but GTA 5 right now. It'd be nice to talk about something different. So what we're gonna talk about is the Wonderful 101 and my first impressions. I have played the first 3 operations. From what I understand, the game has 9, so I think the game has 9 anyway. I don't know, I haven't beaten the game. I'm assuming the game has 9. So I would say that, I'm about a third through the game. I think that's a good enough spot to start doing first impressions. And I need to do it because not only because of GTA 5, but because this game's reviews have been all over the fucking place. Some people fucking absolutely love this game. Some people hate this game. And some people are just indifferent to the game. Most are around the indifferent level. I think in Metacritic it has somewhere between like a 70 and an 80. Somewhere around their range. And I just want to give my first impressions and thoughts. I even know Game Explain, which is a popular gaming YouTube channel I go to for a lot of Nintendo-based gaming, their review of this game got so much fucking hate. It was ridiculous. And I'm not gonna say some of it was fucking justified. And let me just get into the first thing. This is a Platinum's game through and through. You need to know that when you get this game. If you ever plan to buy this game, you need to know this is a Platinum This is like, if you play Bayonetta, you'll understand what I mean by that in full view, but in case you don't, let me explain. First thing, Platinum games are known for being hard as shit. Surprisingly, and I say surprisingly because Wonderful 101 does not look like a game that would inherently be hard, especially considering half of the things based around the game have been like, well, the game might be short. The game is probably going to be easy because it's on the Nintendo platform. Fuck no. You will get your shit rocked in this game. And the difference is that this game encourages, to me, this is actually more creative than Bayonetta in the sense that this encourages switching powers. This game does a really good job of trying to make use of every power you're introduced to. Because there's such a fuck ton of variety in the enemies that some of them can only be taken out with certain Unite morphs, and certain ones can only be taken out with other Unite morphs. And on top of that, they start mixing combinations. So when you see elements of certain enemies that, like I'm gonna use an example because just saying that is just too goddamn long-winded. And say the whip power up, or Wonder Pink's whip power-up has the ability to destroy spiked enemies. Well, you have this cannon-type enemy that shoots out a laser that the sword can block. When they start mixing those together and having a spiked gun, that probably means that you first have to remove the damn spikes from it, then use the sword to deflect the laser to destroy the shield, and at that point you proceed to wail the fuck on it. That's how this game works. Where I will agree with the reviews is the fact that this game does the same thing that Bayonetta does and doesn't actually explain everything to you. Do not expect to play this game and not get your ass handed to you in one way or another. That's just how it works. The reason why I say that is because Platinum Games has the problem of there are things you can do in the game to make shit easier for you, but the game doesn't tell you. You have to go out of your way to look for it, which is, I guess, the whole thing about Platinum Games is kind of like Bayonetta had the same problem, where it's like, you wouldn't know certain things to do in certain situations until you actually looked. This game encourages exploration and fiddling around with the controls. Now, to get into the controls, because that's the other thing a lot of people rag on this game for. Drawing things with the fucking gamepad. This is one of those things that I can kind of see a person's point, but at the same time, I don't really truly believe. I just believe that's bullshit. Because here's the thing: people were always like, "Why the fuck is it like this zoom, like this weird, like slowdown feature when you're drawing an item?" That's to prevent the enemy from hitting you when you're drawing an item. Now, a lot of people say, oh, this breaks the pace because you have to draw items to switch into shit. Now, you can tell the Game Explain guy who did the review, because he also does like I think a video watch with, I think he did like a 40-minute like Game & Watch video, with the dude I'm used to watching. Like the guy who reviewed Wonderful 101 is someone I've never even fucking seen or heard from before specifically, because I'm usually there for the Sonic, Pokemon, and maybe other Nintendo exclusives, and I don't think he's in a lot of those main videos. Here's the thing. You have the ability to use multiple Unite Morphs at the same time, which makes wailing on enemies so goddamn fun. And it's because of this is the reason why a lot of enemies you have to do something first before you can actually start wailing on them, especially when you get introduced to the spike enemies or the enemies that have shields on them. Why? Because considering you have the ability to wail on the fucking enemy by hitting X instead of A when you like you can draw, like let's say you're in the middle of the sword attack. You can then draw a circle for the fist, and instead of hitting A to switch to it, hit X. And now you have the fist wailing on the damn thing while you're wailing on it with the sword. Then you can make an S, fucking hit X again, and now you have the whip in the back. And then on top of that, you can draw a hammer, and have the hammer coming at it. That is kind of broken, because it rapes enemies when you do that. It's ridiculous. And the game encourages you to get creative and mix things. This game actually has combos, but you really wouldn't know because you don't really need to delve that far in to get through levels. My first suggestion, though, for players is to buy Unite Guts and Unite Spring. What are these two moves, you're wondering? Well, you have Unite Morphs that do specific abilities, which would be Guts is to block projectiles and Spring is to evade. You are given these things in the demo. If you played the demo for this game, you were giving these at the beginning of the game. Like, you didn't have to buy them. In the main game, you have to buy them. So, the first things you should buy is that. The other thing about it that really is a negative is the fact that you die in fucking... It's kind of Bayonetta's same problem with the cutscenes, like with the quick time events, except it's nowhere near as dickish as Bayonetta's. Bayonetta's had the fucking annoying problem that if you had to hit the damn quick time event exactly when the game wanted you to. Not with Wonderful 101, where it's just you have to hit the button. So that's the one thing I hate about Bayonetta. It's like we had a quick time event, and it's not a simple of you hitting the button on time. It's you hitting the button on time. It's like you hitting the button at a specific time. You know how it usually has like a clock that's like a few seconds before you die? You can't just hit the button in a few seconds, though. You have to hit it at the right time in the middle of those few seconds, or you will die in Bayonetta. And Wonderful 101 is just simple quick time shit. It's not really the quick time shit that kills you. It's the fact that Wonderful 101 has the tendency of switching the gameplay style up a lot. Like, it's constantly... Like, I put it this way. I've only played 3 operations, which I guess at this point would be a third of the game. And I've already done shoot-'em-up sections, fucking flight simulator sections, guardrail sections. It's ridiculous. And the reason why is, and I guess that's the biggest, that's probably a hindrance because it doesn't really stick to one specific type of gameplay. Like, cause like you have your levels where you're doing your normal shtick, but then you have these sections for the plot where you're now all of a sudden on the damn airship or you're on the fucking guardrail and you have to make sure this the thing you're standing on doesn't get destroyed. And what kind of annoys me is that during these sections there are parts of those sections where if you don't guess right, you take damage. And granted, Bayonetta had this shit too, where if you didn't know what the fuck you were doing on the first round, and you probably didn't, you got your ass handed to you. Now granted, I like the game. I have no problem with the game. For me, currently, I would say it's about an 8. But what kind of holds it back is that Platinum Game style of doing things that it loves. This game is encouraging replays. This game is encouraging replays just like Bayonetta encouraged replays. If you're not the type of person who can't see themselves replaying levels to get a better score, I'm not going to say don't bother, but you're not going to enjoy this as much, because one of the biggest enjoyment out of those types of games is the fact that the better you get at it, when That's like, it's kind of like with Bayonetta. You go back and you beat Bayonetta, and then right after that, go to like a level that was giving you a lot of shit. Like a level you got like just straight bronze in, or straight ass in, right after beating the game. And that level will seem like a joke to you. Why? Because you spent the entire fucking game getting used to the mechanics and getting good at what you do. So by the time you go back and play like an earlier level that gave you so much shit, you realize, wow, this is an easy ass level. And it's not because of upgrades and shit, because Bayonetta's upgrades didn't really do shit in that regard. It's because you've gotten better at playing the game. It's the same thing with Wonderful 101. When I'm first introduced to the spike enemy, you know, the ones that, you know, it has a whole bunch of spikes and you have to use the whip to remove its shell, and then you can wail on the main body. It took me, I think 5 to 10 minutes to beat that thing on the first try. And it's not a boss, mind you. It's just an enemy. It took me 5 to 10 minutes to beat it so long because I had to wait and wail on it, run back, wait until it did its attack and dodge the attack, wail on it, run back, wail on it, run back, wail on it. And then when I get to the later levels and I run across that same enemy again, I'm just fucking dead. It took me about like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Why? Because I know how to deal with the thing. Plus that there are tricks you learn while playing the game. And it's not like the tutorial shit is ass. It's not like it doesn't explain anything to you. It's just that certain things aren't explained to you. For example, the tutorial has a good section, and when I say tutorial, I mean like when they kind of give you hints to what to do. Like for certain boss fights, when the character does when the enemy does a specific attack, there'll be this little cutscene of like one of the Wonderful 101's face going out to the side and kind of making a noise, kind of hinting, it's like, oh, it's Wonder Blue's face, I probably need to have the sword out. Oh, it's Wonder Pink's face, I probably need to have the whip out. Oh, it's Wonder Red's face, I'm probably gonna need the fist out. That's usually your warning. So it's not like the game is ass at telling you what to do. It's just that it doesn't want to make up its fucking mind. There are sections where you have no idea what the fuck to do, and there are other sections where it's like, okay, we'll give you a hint. The boss fights are usually the best, ironically, with this kind of shit. But the thing that usually kills you the most is that these boss fights are fucking ridiculous. It's like it's the same lot, as I said, as a Platinum Games title. Same thing with Bayonetta. Has ridiculous ass fucking boss fights. Shit, boss fights where you run through it and you're just like, Jesus fucking Christ, look at what I'm doing. And the problem is, the first time you do it, it's really hard to one-shot a boss. And granted, this game isn't dickish with the lives. It does the same thing Bayonetta does. If you die in a section, well actually no, I think Bayonetta was worse, but Wonderful 101, it's like if you die, it just revives you and you start back from the boss fight. Actually, I think you start back in a specific section in the boss fight. So it's not even like it makes you restart the boss fight. The game is forgiving. It's just that your final score probably looks like shit. But if you only care about beating the game at that point, which should be your first kind of go through. I mean, great, you're supposed to be having fun too, I'm just saying. The game isn't dickish about checkpoints anywhere in the game. Like, you die anywhere, the game's not dickish at all. I mean, hell, I've had sections where I've died and I was like halfway done with the people I was killing, and then I came back and I'm still halfway done. I'm like, well, that was nice. And then I looked at my score and I felt depressed. So in terms, I guess I'm trying to think. But as I said, the thing about the fights that will kill you the most is that because they're so ridiculous, there are certain things you'll end up doing that you'll probably never do again in a boss fight. For example, one of the first boss fights, you go from fighting this motherfucker in a baseball field to fighting him in midair on top of a ship, fighting its two dragon head, like it's riding a fucking robotic dragon, and it's just like, shit, I guess we gotta take care of this thing. And then you switch directly from that to a free-falling section where all of a sudden there are these fucking barrels next to you, and it's like, hit Y to use the barrel. And see, what makes it worse is that only they're asking for you to use a specific character. Like, for example, certain characters can do certain things. Wonder Red has the ability to open doors by cranking a lock. Wonder Blue has the ability of opening things by shoving a sword in it. Wonder Yellow has the ability of breaking things by using its hammer. Wonder Pink has the ability to latch on the thing and swing from things with a whip. And Wonder Green has the ability to shoot things. They don't really give you the indication to be Wonder Red. You kind of have to figure that out on your own. On top of which, it's kind of hard to figure out what you're doing. Like, for example, during this section where you're grabbing barrels and throwing at this dragon from across the fucking free-falling section, there's a point where the dragon comes over and starts destroying platforms. You wouldn't know that it was destroying platforms the first time because you see the barrels, you're thinking, I just gotta keep wailing on this thing with the barrels, right? Because I can't reach it from this distance. No, you're supposed to also jump while doing this. Granted, it's not like the game doesn't show you this at the same time. There's a platform usually coming up in the distance that gets a little closer, and you also see barrels hanging around that would imply jump on that platform too. But it's kind of convoluted, and you're not gonna catch that on your first try. Like I remember when I'm fighting a boss for the first time, and the boss does something, and that's the other thing I don't like. Some of the attacks are unavoidable, and the game, I don't know if it's unavoidable because I don't have the proper weapon or things to deal with it, or is it unavoidable, like, period? Like, I just can't avoid that attack. Because sometimes I feel like it's the latter instead of the former. That I just can't fucking avoid the attack. Especially considering you can't really power up your fucking Unite moves in the sense of actually making them slow. No, that's bullshit. Yes, you can. I don't know. That's a very meh thing. And I'm more kind of just talking about the game instead of actually my experience with it so far. It's been pretty fun. I've gotten insanely good with drawing things with the hammer. My bad. that's the newest weapon I got, so I'm on the hammer shit. I've gotten really good at drawing things with the right analog stick. Granted, you can use the gamepad. It works either way. Most people are going to use the right analog stick because it's just quicker and it's easier to just go through the game while doing that. But I love the game's personality. The game's really funny and ridiculous. I love the characters' personalities, like how Wonder Blue is like the surfer dude type. Wonder Green is like the gun maniac, but he loves to rag on Blue so much. He rags on Blue so fucking much. Wonder Pink is like the Transylvania. Actually, this is I don't even know this in archetype. She's like into fashion and she's like the girly girl. And Wonder Green likes to hit on her, which is really weird because Wonder Green is like the fat French kid who's in the guns. That's new. And then you have Wonder Yellow, who's like a Russian badass, but he's shy. He's a shy Russian badass, which is I like these characters type. And then like Wonder Red, and the game doesn't ever tell you this. Like none of the trailers tell you this. Wonder Red is new. Like, he's just recently become a Wonderful 101. And on top of that, he's like the noob to everybody else. Everybody's like, oh, you're the noob. It's like, noob. It's like, oh my lord, why is he leading the team? And he's very naive. He has that same shonen property where it's like he's talking to one of the villains. And the villain goes into this stupid tirade about his past. He's like, would you like to hear it? And obviously this is like a fuck you scene. We're about to fight. But Wonder Red's like, sure, I'd like to hear your story. And Wonder Blue's like, seriously? Like, I like that. I like the character and I like the interactions with the characters. Okay, fine. Now people are messaging. Is that a message or a text message on my... I don't know what the fuck. I guess someone's messaging me on my phone. That's besides the point. So I'd probably say overall, from what I've played so far, which is a good third of the game, I would say it is worth purchasing. But you need to be under the mindset that a Platinum's game will not explain everything to you. And you gotta be the type that likes to get better at things the more you play them. And that's what comes from these type of hack and slash and RPG type situations. That the better you get in the game, the more interesting and fun it gets. And honestly, Wonderful 101 is fun on its first playthrough. Don't bullshit yourself. There are times like today, I recently just one-shot the boss at the end of the... I one-shotted that motherfucker. Like, I didn't even die once. And that's... I don't know if that's me improving or me just getting more perceptive. But that's the type of shit you want to feel. You want to feel like you're getting better at the situation. And that's how I felt. Fucking one-shot that piece of shit. The bosses are so ridiculous and cool. And the game is just too much fucking fun to play. But... everyone's on the GTA shit, but I wanted to make this video for those who were interested in the game, but have seen a lot of the negative criticisms of the game. The game won't... I guess the game doesn't bullshit you. The game is like old school gaming hard, where it doesn't fucking explain everything to you and makes you work for the accomplishments you end up feeling. It's not just like it makes you feel accomplished just because you're playing the game. Good job, you did the controller. Achievement! No. This game is like you fucking work towards it, and when you finish a boss and you one-shot the boss, even though up until this point you've been getting your ass handed to you, but just barely making it through, you feel accomplished because you realize that, oh shit, I've gotten better at the game. I got better at drawing the weapons. I got better at doing combos. I got better at blocking and dodging enemies, and got better at reading the patterns. So yeah, I've rambled on enough, but that's just my opinions on Wonderful 101. Please leave yours and the thoughts in the comment section below. I hope this helps. I hope you guys, if you made it to the end of the video, if you made it to the end of the video, type in the comment section, Wonder Pink is the ultimate waifu. Actually, no. Yeah, fuck it. Wonder Pink is ultimate waifu. That seems like, or just Wonder Pink is waifu. Anything along those lines. So, vlogs again from your boy Terrell, and I'll catch y'all guys later. Wonder T. Outa! Wow, that sounded so fucking lame. Peace out.